Hello everybody, it's Monica Heltz with your daily Fishers Health Department update. Today is Wednesday, September 23rd. I did a full review of the metrics yesterday, so I'm not going to go into all of that today. I will tell you that our percent positivity rate at the Fishers testing site is 4.51%, our county rate is at 5.2%, and our case incidence rate is at 11.25, which continues to trend down. I did want to talk a little bit about testing today because we have had a decrease in our testing. And I'm glad that a lot more of you feel like you don't need to be tested, but it is important that we have appropriate levels of testing going on in the community, and we want to do everything we can to support that. We're seeing about 100 folks a day come through our Fishers Health Department testing site, which is about a half of the capacity that we have. Now, on Mondays, we see an increased amount of testing coming through. I'm not sure why, but even on Mondays, we're not at capacity at this time, which means it should be really easy for you to come through and get tested if that's something that you're worried about, if you've been notified that you're a contact, or if you've been having symptoms. So I would strongly encourage you to get tested if you meet any of those criteria. Again, like I said, we're at about half of our capacity right now. We're working on actually doubling our capacity so that we can meet the testing recommendations for Fishers, which would suggest that based on our population size for best suppression of the virus, that we should be testing about 400 people per day. Now, what we do know is that about half of our residents are getting tested at places other than the Fishers Health Department testing site, and that, again, is perfectly fine. And I'm basing that information on the percent positivity rates, the number of cases that we get every day, and how much testing there likely is of Fishers residents, because we don't have that exact data available to us on how many tests on Fishers residents are happening, but we can kind of extrapolate based on the information that we do have. So I would guesstimate that we're having about 200 to 300 tests per day performed on Fishers residents, and really we should be at about 400 per day in order to best suppress this virus. That being said, I fully understand that our case incidence rate will go up, most likely with increased testing. However, if we have that amount of testing and our percent positivity remains low and our capacity for public health response remains high, then it does not concern me that our case incidence rate might go up, as long as we're able to stay on top of it and control it, because that's really the goal here, is really to be able to isolate people soon and appropriately and quarantine appropriately and really get ahead of this. And that's how we're really going to drive down the impact of this virus on our community, which is really the true goal. So I just want you guys to know that we're taking all of these factors into consideration. As we look at where the cases are happening right now, they primarily are between 15 and 40-year-olds. So although I strongly recommend testing for anybody who's been exposed or anyone who's having symptoms, I would also recommend that those of you in the 15 to 40-year-old age group, particularly if you've been out and about and socializing, I would recommend generally that you guys go get tested. So if you're between the ages of 15 and 40 and you've been socializing, maybe you're feeling a little bit nervous about that, maybe not, I would recommend some general screening so that we can continue to get ahead of this virus and quarantine appropriately and identify cases appropriately. We know that up to 32% of people who are testing positive do not know they have it. They're not having any symptoms. And that's based on our own Fishers Health Department data. That is not, and it's freely available on our website, and that's since we started testing. 32% asymptomatic positives means that a third of people that have it don't know that they have it. So if that's you, it could be you. We do recommend a little bit more broad screening. I also want to caution you on the flip side, if you are testing positive, you do not need a repeat test for another 3 months. And that would be only if you could potentially have been re-exposed or been symptomatic. Once you test positive, you do not need to retest. The CDC does not recommend that. If you follow the isolation guidelines for 10 days, you do not need to do anything else as far as retesting for your availability to come back out into the community. The chances are very high that you're shedding dead virus, and we can't tell the difference with the test of if it's dead or alive. Just a general reminder that testing is available for everybody 5 and up. There's a video on our website that you can watch to show the process. It's very cute. Recommend that everybody get their flu shot this year. And if you have questions about COVID or scheduling, feel free to call our hotline, 317-595-3211, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 7. Thanks so much, you guys. Stay safe. Get your flu shot. Bye.